Hello everyone, this is Mr. Harper and we are starting a new Ed puzzle on a new unit, muscles. We've done the anticipation guide to give you an idea of what this unit is all about. And so now we want to start this Ed puzzle, and today I want to talk to you really about two things. One, why do we need muscles? What do they do for us? And two, what are the three major kinds of muscles in your body? So let's get started. So you probably know this. Muscles help you to move. When muscles contract, they help you to move, whether it is moving your body externally, like moving your arms or your legs, or smiling or frowning, or winking your eye, blinking your eyes. Those are all things that your muscles do by helping your body move externally. But something we think less about is that muscles also help things move internally. Our heart is pumping. It's a muscle. When it pumps, when those muscles contract, it moves blood in our body. The size of our blood vessels are changing. They can get bigger or smaller to change our blood pressure or to help us regulate body temperature. The size of your pupils in your eye change, bigger, smaller. That's a result of muscles. Food is moving through your digestive tract, through your alimentary canal. You remember, from your mouth all the way to the anus? That muscle action is pushing the food along. Remember, that's called peristalsis. Remember that squeeze, 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 squeeze to push the food along? Well, the things doing the squeezing are muscles. Our muscles help us to maintain body posture, standing and setting. When you are setting, there are many, many groups of muscles that are working to have you upright. There are muscles that are working all the time simply to keep your head from falling off to one side or the back or the front, to help maintain your head in place. Muscles in your neck and shoulders that do that. Muscles that help you when you're standing. Some muscles are contracted, some muscles are relaxed to help us to maintain our balance. Muscles stabilize joints. They help hold joints together. Ligaments and tendons in the joints. Ligaments are connecting bone to bone, of course, but the tendons are connecting muscles to bone or muscles to muscles. And those muscles help to hold joints together. For example, your knee joint. Without muscles helping the ligaments in that joint, it would be hard to hold that joint together and it might fail. So they stabilize joints. And the last thing muscles do is they generate body heat. As muscles work, they put off heat. Think about this. If you start running, you are using more muscles as you run. And as you run, your body heats up because of those additional muscles working. You stop running, fewer muscles are working now, and you cool back down. Those are all the results of muscle action. And even the sweat on this person from all the body heat, that sweat is pushed out from sweat glands to the surface of our skin. How is that done? Muscles. So those are the major functions of muscles. So let's look at the three kinds. Three kinds of muscles. Each have a specific kind of jobs they do. Skeletal muscles. You can see that skeletal muscles are the muscles that you actually see the shape of underneath your skin. You say somebody's really built, you see the definition of their muscles, their pecs on their chest, or their biceps, or their lats. They've got the big triangular shape if they're a bodybuilding kind of guy, or the six pack, the latissimus is that we call them. So anyway, skeletal muscles are the muscles that are right underneath our skin. And they're deeper than that too, but they're the muscles that are underneath the skin. Smooth muscles are much more internal. You can see here I have the blood vessels in the picture because smooth muscles line blood vessels. And you can see the stomach and the large intestine and the small intestine here because smooth muscles are the muscles in the digestive tract too. And the third one, cardiac muscle, I have one thing here, and that is the heart. That's the only place it's found. So those are the three basic kinds of muscles, a little bit about them. So let's look more specific at each type. Skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles are called skeletal muscles because most of the time they are attached to your skeleton, to your bones. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're attached to other muscles, but most of the time attached to bones. Skeletal muscles are voluntarily controlled or consciously controlled. So if I want to move my arm, my brain has to say, move my arm. It doesn't just happen automatically. And I have to consciously say, move your arm. Now, do I think about that a lot? No, I've done it so many times I just do it. But it doesn't happen without a conscious controlled action. So we call them voluntary muscles. Skeletal muscles are called striated because when you look at them under a microscope, they have these striped appearance about them, and we call those stripes striations, so we call them striated muscles. Skeletal muscles cells are long and thin, and we call them muscle fibers. You're going to hear that on this unit later on. And skeletal muscles can contract really fast and with a lot of force, but they get tired very quickly. You start to sprint and run really quickly, those skeletal muscles doing that wear out quickly. You're lifting something very heavy, you can't lift it for very long before you might drop it because those skeletal muscles tire very quickly. And here's, like I said earlier, the skeletal muscles, all the muscles that you notice right underneath your skin, those are all skeletal muscles. Smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are called smooth because when we look at them under a microscope, we don't see those striations or stripes. And so they said, oh, in comparison to the skeletal muscles, they look smooth. And that's why they call them that. Smooth muscles found throughout many parts of the body. They form the walls of hollow structures, such as your stomach and blood vessels or intestines. So here, once again, is the picture. The walls of all your blood vessels have smooth muscles in them so they can change the shape of blood vessels, make them bigger or smaller as your blood pressure changes. And smooth muscles are the muscles that are responsible for pushing food through your stomach, for making your stomach churn, for pushing through your small intestines and your large intestines. Those are all smooth muscles. Smooth muscles they decrease and increase the size of your pupils of your eyes in response to bright light. All of these things are called involuntary actions. Smooth muscles are involuntary compared to skeletal muscles being voluntary. You can't think about your blood vessels and make them change and get bigger or smaller. You can't think and say, okay, food move through my digestive tract or don't. These are controlled subconsciously by your brain instead of conscious actions. And subconscious actions we call involuntary. You can't say, pupils of my eye get bigger or get smaller. This happens involuntarily. Sweat being pushed out of sweat glands is an involuntary action controlled by smooth muscles. Smooth muscle contractions are much slower than those of skeletal muscles, but they don't get tired easily. They can continue to happen for long, long periods of time. Third kind of muscle, cardiac muscle, found in one place and one place only in your body. It is the heart. When we look at cardiac muscle under a microscope, it's striated like skeletal muscles are. But unlike skeletal muscles, cardiac muscle is involuntary. You can't say to your heart, speed up, slow down, stop. You can't do that because your brain subconsciously controls those actions, just like smooth muscles. And like smooth muscle, cardiac muscle does not tire easily. It continues to work and work and work. So let's recap these things really quick. Skeletal muscles, location attached to bones, or some other times to skin or to other muscles. Cardiac muscle in the heart. Smooth muscle, walls of hollow organs, other than the heart, that is. We're not going to worry too much about muscle shape, but look at this. Here's a picture of skeletal muscle. Do you see the little fine lines here? Those are called striations. Likewise, you see the lines in the cardiac muscle too. Those are striations, so we call this striated muscle. But when you get to smooth, you don't see those lines anymore. You see a lot of these dots here. Those are the nuclei of the cells, or the nucleus of the cells. But you don't see those lines in smooth muscles. So, three major kinds of muscles: skeletal, smooth, cardiac. Different in what they do and how they do it. And remember back to the very first slide. Functions of muscles. Movement, whether it's external or internal. Posture, helps you to stand and set. Stabilizes joints and generates body heat. So there's our introduction here to muscles. We'll talk more next time on how the muscle is actually shaped, the independent anatomy pieces inside of it.